Silas, and this is Channel Factory After Dark, where we bring you a unique take on the marketing and advertising industry and conversations with marketing rock stars. Our first story this week hits near and dear to my heart because it involves the iconic Dolly Parton. Oh, I love her so much. For National Skincare Awareness Month, Sunbum activated a guerrilla-style tactic that definitely raised awareness for the outer peel. They covered the famous Dolly statue in Dollywood with a large banana costume, but they didn't stop there. Other famous statues around the country were also bananaed, with Thomas Edison, Bob Newhart, and Elvis Presley statues similarly covered head to toe. Next up, Bud Light is gearing up for the best summer ever by releasing their $10 million Super Stimmy proposal, a 100-page document that looks like a real piece of legislation and is filled with jokes and hidden prizes. The proposal includes 100,000 free tickets for sports games and outdoor music, concerts, and of course, free beer. And speaking of the best summer ever, Extra Gum's amazing new ad shows us the not too distant future where we all finally close our Zoom meetings, clear out the empty pizza boxes, and of course, make out ferociously in the park. Set to the tune of Celine Dion's It's All Coming Back to Me Now, this one hits the mark and is one of my favorite ads so far this year. It's the early aughts again around here, and Abercrombie is back. After becoming the most hated brand in America, featuring shirtless models and comments about how their clothes were made for the cool kids who weren't overweight, they experienced a plunging stock price and have since replaced their CEO with Fran Horowitz, a badass female executive that has driven a massive recovery, 271% in the last year alone, by focusing on what the younger consumer wants. According to Business Insider, Abercrombie is cool again by creating a more wholesome brand focused on sustainability. We'll see if Gen Z reclaims Abercrombie as their own. That wraps it up for the news. Stay tuned for Fun with Friends. Welcome to our very first Fun with Friends, where we have fun with our friends. So our first friend is Dana Bhargava, the head of experience planning at Sanofi. Dana, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm excited. Well, I like to have fun, and you're my friend, so it all makes sense.
It all makes sense. It all works out. I love it. Okay, so my first question for you. If you had to explain your job to your grandmother, how would you explain it?
Well, considering my grandmothers were both Indian, and the only jobs they knew were engineering and medicine, they would be so confused by what I do. So I think the reality of the situations would take a lot of explaining. I basically think about what consumers want, help companies produce products, and help communicate those products and why a consumer should buy them.
I love that. That's perfect. I was trying to think of how I would explain it to my grandma, and I was like,
I think my grandmother would understand advertising. Maybe I would say billboards.
Yeah.
Maybe she'd say billboards.
Totally. Yeah. But I think I would just be like, internet. And I think that is just blanket statement.
Yeah, my grandmother would not know what the internet was. The World Wide Web. Above her head.
Okay. What was your first job ever?
My first job ever was serving yogurt at, TCBY, which at that time stood for the country's best yogurt. And I got in a lot of trouble at that job. There was a lot of whippets in the back.
Why?
A lot of whippets
in the back?
Yeah, whipped cream canisters can be a lot of fun when they're almost empty.
Especially when you're 16.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what would Team Dana, so the people on your team, say about you? So I'll give you an example. For me, I was like, I think my team would say that I'm just like not cool at all. Like they had to explain Gucci to me, what's the T, and pretty much every TikTok phenomenon that exists.
Well, I'm lucky that you asked about this team versus my last team, because I think my team is a little bit older now, so I'm not quite as uncool as I have been in the past.
Okay.
I'm probably on par with my team. So luckily, I don't think they'd say I was uncool. I think they would probably say that I have very strong opinions and I'm not afraid to share them.
I love that. That's the perfect thing that you would want your team to say about you, I think. So that's awesome. Okay, so Dana, can you tell me about your alter ego?
Absolutely. So, my full name is Vandana. When I was, I think when I started nursery school, My whole life I'd been Vandana. I mean, I was 4, so my whole life of 4, I was Vandana. And then one day my parents took me to nursery school. First of all, they were leaving me with a stranger for the first time in my life. And as I got to the door, they turned around and they said to my nursery school teacher, "Hi, we'd like you to meet our daughter Dana." And I was like, "Who the heck is Dana? And why am I leaving me with this person?" Right? And that's when my alter ego of Dana started. And I will tell you, Dana has always had more fun. She has always had more power. Dana gets to do cool things like go to New Fronts and, get gifts in the mail, because anything cool addressed in the mail comes to Dana. If it comes to Mama, that's a bill.
Yeah, Dana's not doing dishes.
No, Dana doesn't do dishes. So I have a lot of friends who said they would much rather hang out with Dana than Vandana, but they've never gotten a chance to meet her because they know me from my personal life. So, I mean, I just say those that know Dana are a lot more lucky. I wish I could hang out with her all the time too.
Okay, now you have to tell me about your superpower.
Clearly, this is Dana's superpower, right? Because Vandana's superpower is maybe getting her husband to do the dishes instead of her.
Right.
Dana's superpower, and Lauren, I mean, I think we've hung out enough that you can believe this, or this to be true. There is not a situation in the world in which I cannot procure free alcohol. And even when the alcohol is free, I'll procure greater amounts of it. I don't know. There's no limitation to my superpower. It works in every situation. Even where they don't serve alcohol, somehow or another I managed to procure free alcohol.
I actually one time went up to a bar. This was the only time this has happened to me, so I felt very excited by it. And I was like, "We'll have 2 of those cocktails on the house," and it worked.
Absolutely. I think if you say anything with confidence, people will just say, "Sure."
They just do it. So it's allergy season. Actually, Brad was just telling me, our producer, that he has really bad allergies and he's an Allegra taker. But he wanted to know, is it like your Super Bowl?
It is our Super Bowl. It is, I mean, that's an interesting way to put it. No one's ever said that, but it is 100% our Super Bowl, I guess. I mean, everything we do matters now, right? So yeah, I mean, I today too was watching on the news that pollen levels are very high today. So yeah, I think, if it's ever going to matter that our products work, it's going to be now.
I love that.
I mean, I think it's not advertising during the Super Bowl. It's like being a coach, because God, my players got to get out there and work, because if they don't work, they're not winning this game.
That's right. And also, you probably have already had your creative strategy and your creative for months. Absolutely. So now it's just about the execution and watching how it's working.
Absolutely. And then because we have a multitude of allergy products within the Sanofi portfolio, it's also making sure that we're placing the right player in the right place between Xyzal, Allegra, and Nasacort.
Okay. If you were an animal, what would you be?
A monkey, 100%. I have this answer ready. Because I think monkeys are adaptable. I think they're funny. I think they're sociable. I think they're quick-witted. They have a lot of predators, but they seem to know what to do. And the best part about them, when they don't like you or when they want to have fun, they just fling poop at you. What could you do with an animal that'll just fling poop for fun?
Great point. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Dana. I really appreciate you taking the time today. And I can't wait until you can procure me some free alcohol soon.
Absolutely. Can't wait. Looking forward to that.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks, Dana.
Thanks.
And thank you to all of you for joining. Please tune in next time. And in the meantime, like, subscribe, and share with your friends.
That might even be the one we use.